Hi there, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to just take a quick look at my table helper application here. I wanted to announce, just let people know that I have made this publicly available. Um, this is not something that I really expect a lot of people are going to want to use and, get a lot of use out of, but mostly I have been just getting back into like Git and GitHub and just getting that set up on my machine and preparing to use it again. I have not used Git in a number of years. In preparation for that, I was like, you know what, I might as well just add Table Helper as a project to GitHub. And because I did that, I wanted to let people know that, hey, this is available. If you've watched my videos before and you've seen me using my Table Helper utility and you've wanted to use it yourself, it is available and it is usable. So you will go to, let's bring up GitHub. It is, here at Table Helper. So, github.com/ROM translator/table helper. I will put a link to this in the description. It is available on romhacking.net. You should be able to download it. It links directly to this zip download, or you can follow a link from romhacking.net to this GitHub page. There is a README for it here, and the files are here. There's really not much to it. This is basically the main table helper PHP file. Then there's a library with a couple functions in here that help you to, actually like do the stuff. That's pretty much it. Then there's character sets that I made for each of the, some numerals, katakana, small, katakana with diacritic, or actually, is it with diacritics? Yes. Um, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just gonna demonstrate in case people out there are just find it easier to watch a video instead of read through something, try to piece together what I was intending with this. Basically, this is just a time saver for when you're making table files, right? Table file is just a list of equivalencies. Like, this is basically the format that my table helper is going to help you to generate. Okay. You basically have character sets here that are listed out with the bytes that represent them in the text routine that the game is using. I think I mentioned in the README that this is mostly geared towards like 8 and 16-bit games that tend to have custom text encodings. So you can run into a lot of unique encodings, right? But a lot of them share some similarities. For instance, 0 through 9 are going to be pretty universally 0 through 9. There are cases where perhaps they're trying to save space and they only use a couple of numbers out of numerals, and so they don't bother to put tiles for 0 through 9 in their game, right? But in this case, I'm just going to show you how you would use this utility. You're going to open up the table helper PHP file. We have an array of hex values. And the nice thing about this is you only need one value pair. One hex and then one character from the character set that is going to represent the whole character set. And just the value that actually is in the ROM. So what we're using here, this is a NES game, and we're using the PPU viewer and the little debug options here. There are various ways that you could find out what bytes represent what characters in a text routine in a game. Not all characters are going to be using a text routine, right? But for ones that are, this is helpful. So in this case, this is showing us right here when we hover over these. You see a tile number down here. So this is 0, 0 is 0. So that's pretty easy. What we're going to do here is say, all right, this is 0, 0. We don't actually have to put two zeros there, but we're going to. and that is 0, right? Okay, so and I can show you, if we generate that here, basically we're going to, I have XAMPP running. XAMPP is like a LAMP stack, even though it's not LAMP, it would be like a WAMP stack. Basically, you're talking Apache, MySQL. I don't even know what those are. For this, you don't need the database backend, so you would just at least run Apache, right? So you have a web server running locally on your machine. Once you do that, you're able to go to localhost, whatever. I made a folder in the htdocs folder called custom, and that's where I put my stuff, right? So inside of custom, I've put in a table helper folder, and then I have table helper PHP and all that stuff in there. Okay. So anyway, we're going to refresh this and we get our numerals. Okay. So what it's doing is it's just based on this, it's saying our 0, 0 is the character of the numeral 0. And then it's using the numerals character set to calculate the rest of the values based on what we gave it. And we can do that for the rest of this. So we can see A here is at like OA. So we're going to go, OA, and we're going to get A. But then we're going to get that here to A is at 2.4. So we're going to put in 2.4. And that's going to be A. We don't necessarily have a character set that has the small hiragana laid out like that in this. You could check the character sets by, going to the character sets that I'm using and looking at them. You can make your own custom character sets. So let's say, like what I would probably do is just hand type these out. Let's say you didn't want to hand type these out. You could make your own character set that is these characters in order, right? And then you could go to, I put a variable in here specifically for adding a custom character set for a particular game that you're working on. Here, you could do that manually by also going into the library and like adding it into this array of globals here. But you don't need to do that because current game is already in there. So if you want to, make your own character set, name it whatever you want. Just be like, my set dot UTF, save it as UTF-8, I believe, and yeah, and then just open it up. I mean, you don't have to open it up. This opens it up automatically and uses it. If you want to do it like that, and like that would be maybe the one that includes like itsu, ya, yu, yo, dot, and ah. And I mean, heck, you could put the rest of this punctuation in there if you wanted to. And then you just have to say, like, let's say the small e is 52. So you would just be like, that would do that. We're not going to do that this time, though. We're just going to do this and save it and refresh it. Okay, so this is our table file currently. And then all you're going to do is, like, select all, copy paste it into something. And there you go. You've got most of your table file. It was nice and quick and easy. One thing that's really nice about this, for a lot of these games that I work on, is sometimes they'll have a diacritical mark in, well, like these ones here, right? Like, so we've got, what's this, 5E and 5F are diacritical marks that are not... they're separate from these hiragana characters, right? So if you want to be able to capture those and get a script dump that that doesn't just print the character, like you're going to get this, and that's going to represent ga, right? But it's two characters, and it's visually it kind of looks like ga. It's ka with a little 1010 mark next to it, but that's not the character ga in terms of like, the encoding. This is what Shift.js or something. So if we wanted to put ga in there, we would, type ga. There you go. That's one character. All right. So if we want it to show up as one character properly, in our table file, we can do the following: 5E and 5F. So we're going to go into table helper, and what I've put in here is a hex value for your doc10 and han doc10 characters. So we're going to define those. And it's going to be 5E, 5F. And I'm capitalizing these. You don't have to. Yeah, there. Oops. Still gonna figure it out. We'll save. We'll refresh. And you can see that it has put in the 2 bytes, right? And then the character Ga. So that's how this is represented. If in your actual text, so what this is doing here is this is putting 29 followed by 5e. But occasionally games will actually put the Han Dokten and Dokten characters before the unvoiced character byte. And we can represent that with this 2 easily. Just go to here and set this pre variable to true, and it'll flip them around. You can see now it's instead of 295e, it's 5e29, right? That just depends on your game, in your text encoding. If you find some text in the ROM, and you can check and you can see if it puts the diacritic, before or after, then you can adjust that accordingly. All right. It would be pretty trivial to give this a front end, a web front end. I just haven't done that. Like I said, I just wanted to share this as is, so you guys can check it out. Like I said, you can download it from here. You can go to GitHub, whatever you feel like. If for some reason you really love this and think it has potential to, be more, well, like you wanted to write a web, form front end for it or something like that. I mean, you can, what do you do? Add a pull request or something like I don't really know the ins and outs of collaboratively working on a project on GitHub, but I can figure it out. So if you guys wanted to add to this for some reason, knock yourselves out. I just wanted to let you know that it's here and you can use it, especially if you watch my videos and you're like, man, I've wanted to use that utility that Filler uses. Well, you can do it now. So that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.